When you enter an itinerary, this is the page that you would come to. Now I've gone into the Tour de Mont Blanc module, and so that's the trail I see there in the center of the map. Now, there's a lot here, so let me describe what you're seeing. Now, if you have created your own itinerary, in this section on the left-hand panel, Trip Details, this will contain the information that you entered in the form in the previous page. You can change any of this detail at any point in time to ensure it aligns with your trip. If you have entered a sample itinerary, then we will have loaded default information into this section. And so again, you can change that to ensure that it's personalized to how you'd like to see your plan. The second section is called Personalize Your Itinerary. Now, this will become a lot more interesting when we start to plan out a route. It will contain the trail statistics and some route information per day. So let me refer back to that as we begin to plan the trail. The third section has some buttons in it. Now, the first one just refers to the fact that any changes you make are instantly saved. You don't need to go and save them at a point that you're exiting the app. The second one is if you make a mistake or you'd like to start again, then you have the ability to remove all of the waypoints and start from scratch. So it's not an undo, it's a reset. And when you click on it, it will give you a warning to that effect. The third then is an itinerary button. So once you've completed planning your itinerary, you can click on this and see a report of your plan that's been personalized to the route that you've chosen and the trip you've designed. And then finally, we've got this GPS files button. So again, once you've finished planning your itinerary, you can click on this button and you download a GPX or KML file of your route to use for navigating the trail. Referring now to the map, in the bottom right-hand corner, you've got the key. And so on that key, the first few items that are shown are the different trails that you'll see on the map. Now the top one is My Route. And because we haven't started to create a route yet, you don't see that one highlighted. But when we do, it'll be the most prominent, I assure you. What you can see though is the main trail in red. You can also see alternate routes in blue, in dark blue, and then transport that's available along the trail in dotted purple. So this is things like buses, cable cars, and trains. Now clicking on any of them will highlight some photos and a description. Or if you click on transport, it'll have some information about cost and when they operate during the season. Now that detail will contain the prior season's operating times until the upcoming season's information is available, and then that will be loaded into the app and you'll access that. You'll also see, if you zoom in, these grey lines. Now these grey lines represent other trails which are used to connect the main and alternate routes with transport and accommodation. They're not ones that you would ordinarily select as part of your trail. They have no discernible highlights to them. However, they're necessary at times to reach your accommodation or transport, or sometimes they're just different ways of coming off a balcony and into the valley that some people may select, but they're not part of the core trail that you're planning to do. If you click on more map layers, you'll see other points of interest appear, and you can toggle them on and off if you want to see where things are, like water points, where bus stops are, toilets, etc. All of this information will be available for download in your final map files just prior to the season starting. Now referring to the top right hand corner, if you don't want to use the mouse wheel to scroll in and out, you can use the buttons, the plus and minus buttons. And then in the top left hand corner of the map, you'll see a Find Accommodation. So if you already have a good idea of what your plan is, or even better, you've already made your bookings or some of your bookings, you can find where those points are by typing in the name and clicking on it, and then the map will zoom into that point and highlight the accommodation that you've selected. This also works for villages if you want to see where that area of the trail is as well.